I'm Hank Green. I wrote An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, and I think the thing that I love most about reading is being able to be taken into someone else's world, into someone else's perspective, because it does that and creates that world more in my head than any other medium I've ever experienced, allowing me to see through someone else's eyes. It gives me perspective that I otherwise would never be able to have, and it's, you know, I think it's just very important to a part of being a person. At the same time, it's also like that allows for a very unique experience of enjoyment and excitement in sort of like seeing this person's story and getting dragged along with them through this exceptional whatever that is happening to them. The first book that I read that like really pulled me into the story was Jurassic Park. That was the first long book that I ever read, the first like adult book, and it felt very sort of like mature that I remember being like, I'm 100 pages into this book. Remember that feeling of just being sort of astounded that I could make it that far into a thing, and continued to read a lot of Michael Crichton after that, you know, Andromeda Strain and The Lost World and others. But then the first book that I feel like sort of made me deeply empathetic to characters was the Mars Trilogy by Kim Stanley Robinson, which is a book about Mars exploration, but it's really just a book about people. And yeah, they're in a somewhat unusual circumstance, but they are just very, very people. I think book clubs are a wonderful resource for readers because you experience a book differently when you know you're going to be discussing it. You think about it more, you think more critically about it. I also think that in general, I love anything that brings people together to have conversations rather than just to have sort of experience something together. A book club is like you sort of like do your thing on your own and then you come together instead of just to consume something, you come together to create something, to create conversation, to share thoughts. And that, to me, is one of the great parts of being a person, is having those kinds of conversations. I love to get together with friends to play board games, and then an hour later you realize that you're not going to play any board games that night because you're just having good conversations. I think bookstores continue to be hugely important in the digital age. I think they give us a place to gather, a place to connect, a place to be in a physical space with other people. I also think that booksellers remain extremely important, helping people find books that they love. And I think that there's this feeling, like that feeling when you walk into a Barnes & Noble, and to me that feeling is possibility. Like all of these things contain little worlds. They contain so much information, whether it's like on that right side of the store where you're gonna find, you know, how to do things and you're gonna understand the world better, or on the left side of the store where you're gonna be drawn into a remarkable world, into a story that's unlike anything you otherwise would ever be able to experience. That's the feeling for me, is a feeling of possibility.